Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be the part 2 of this little series that I have going on. In the first part I told you guys about how to deal with mean people that talk behind your back, and then in today's video we're gonna talk about what to do if you're in a toxic relationship. The point of this series is one, to talk about my personal struggle and tell you guys my story, and then give you guys some advice that may be useful for your situation. So if you missed the first part of this series, be sure to go and check it out. I will be linked that in the eye. And yeah, if you're interested to hear the part 2, just keep on watching. So this will be kind of tough to talk about, but I had this friendship with this guy for a long time. We met in the first year of high school. We were in the same class, and in the second year of high school we actually started to build this friendship, and I was just so excited about it. I never had a guy friend, and I also never was that open with someone from the opposite sex at all. And we literally started to be really close, and I remember that lots of my classmates said that, hey, he's in love with you, come on, how can't you see that he's in love with you? And it actually crossed my mind for a little bit, but then at the same time I saw him as a friend and I really liked our friendship, and I didn't want it to ruin anything. Also, I think I was actually watching Dawson's Creek at that time, and well, we know how the relationship between Dawson and Joy was when they tried to be together, and yeah, well, that's just another other story. So we were starting to get close, and I'm actually going to say this tiny particular. So one day my best friend was sick, so she was not in school, and so I decided to sit next to this guy, and we were like talking even during like the lessons and stuff, and then I saw him writing something on my desk, and he did that because I was actually looking at all the things that they were written on his desk. So he decided to write something on mine, and oh my god, even thinking about it makes me in a really weird mood. So he constantly tried to make me look at what I said, and the thing is that I did write it, but I just didn't want him to know. So he wrote, "I love you." And when I read a sentence, I felt kind of a weird sensation in my stomach. But like I said, I just didn't want to ruin these whole things. And so I pretend that I didn't read it. So we continued to date as friends, and we also get really close. During the summertime, we would go out together all the time. And when the third year of high school started, we were closer than ever. And I remember, like, I was kind of really possessive about him. Like, I just wanted him all to myself. I wanted to go out with him and stay like alone with him. I just wanted to be only the two of us because I really liked that. And thinking about this is really crazy. So I became almost jealous if he was going out with somebody else. And this is definitely nothing good at all, and it was not a sane relationship or friendship in this case, because we were not together. And I remember that around Christmas, since we were so close, everybody told us, oh, are you dating, or are you together, or this or that? We were like, no, we're just friends. But it started to hit me because I was not acting like I was his friend. Or like I think I was acting like that, but the truth is I kind of liked the idea of that. I didn't want to stay with him, but I liked the idea. I liked that people thought that we were together, if this makes sense. And during actually the Christmas time when we were in our Christmas holiday, he sent me a text saying, like, we actually chat every day, every single day. That was crazy. And he actually sent me a text saying, hey, do you like me? And I was like, what do you mean? It was like, just answer, do you like me? And I freaked out because I didn't know what to say. The only thing I knew is that I didn't want to lose our friendship, and I was not by any means sure about my feelings either. And so I think I said I don't know or something like that. I really can't remember. But then the next morning, when he finally answered back, he said that he didn't wrote it and it was one of his friends. And the fun thing is that I know that I was lying because he actually changed what he said. So at first, I think he said it was a guy friend, and then he said it was a girlfriend. And so I knew that he was just messing out with me, and he was the one who actually wrote the text. But I just didn't know why. Also, I was always open with him, so I actually one time I did ask him, hey, did you love me because this girl told me that you did? And he was like, no way, I never felt something like that for you. And I feel like this is pretty much just the backstory. When this Christmas holiday ended, we get back to class and we didn't talk for a long amount of period. And me with this guy, if we don't talk, like we are not friends, we are enemy. And so it was really not healthy for the both of us. So we were arguing all the time. We were screaming at each other and fighting with each other, which is crazy thinking about that we were so close that people thought that we were together. And coming from that to fighting and arguing all the time, it was really crazy. And that was about us. We thought, then after quite a few times we made peace, then we thought again. And the thing is, I was always the one who made the first move to make peace, because I built this friendship and I had nothing like this friendship, and so I didn't want to lose it. And this fear of losing this friendship made me do things that are crazy to think about. I mean, I didn't do anything illegal or any of that stuff, but when we thought and we argue, after that, I was constantly trying to come up with, something to make peace, or I was always the one actually who decided, okay, we need to make this right. I don't want to lose it. And I feel like I did care about him more than he could ever care about me. And all my friends told me this, but then I didn't saw that at that time. I think I was that blind that I just didn't realize it. And he would tell me, like, with text and something, he would tell me a lot of good stuff. He said, hey, I love you, or you're one of my best friends, I can never forget you. So he said all those stuff with like lots of heart. And this was actually the reason why I truly believed in him. And I didn't thought that this feeling was just something that I felt. I thought that also he considered me his best friend, which is silly to think about. I was the one who came up with the idea to go out or to do this, to do that, whatsoever. I was always the one who make up plans. And I was just so blind that I didn't see all the things that were wrong in our relationship, or our friendship, sorry. I only recently deleted all our text messages, and I never delete them since when we first talk. And I also sometimes catch myself looking back at those messages, and being angry with me because I was like, oh my god, look what you write. You were so obsessive. That's the reason why I ran away. And it was just not healthy for me personally, and not healthy for him either. And so when the fifth year of high school start, we started all over again. We didn't talk, and that's the thing. We start with this little thing like, oh, I know you today, and then it just builds something that is crazy when you think about. And so we were arguing all the time. We were screaming at each other all over again. And my architecture teacher, who saw us growing up together, was like, you need to make peace. That's not good for any of you. And so she tried to make us peace, and I was okay with the idea, okay, let's not fight or any of that, but I knew that I could not come back to the friendship that we had before, because that was not healthy for me personally. And it was also mentally upsetting. I would have lots of breakdown just because of him, just because of what we were going through, and that was not by any means healthy. I found myself crying a lot, and it was just not healthy. It was just crazy. It was toxic. It was almost like I had the need of this guy, and even though he changed a lot, like from the third year of high school till the fifth year of high school, he went through crazy changes. And so I had no idea about with who I was talking about. He was not the person that I met in the first place, and I just wanted to bring him back to how he was, to how I saw him, and it was just crazy. It was toxic for me. And when I realized it, which was the fifth year of high school, I decided to take a step back. So we were still classmates. We still had a good relationship as classmates after my teacher's help, but it was nothing more than that. And I knew that was the best thing for me at that moment. And so I start to taking distance from him, but still acting like a classmate, if this makes sense. I felt relief. I felt better. I started to healing because I was really broken inside because of everything that we've been through, which is crazy to think about, because I feel like I gave away 5 years of my life to someone that now I don't even know. I'm actually proud with the decision that I made to take the distance. I went through it all. I went through the ups, I went through the downs, and now I can say that I'm happy. Even when he actually texts me, especially during the last period of the fifth year of high school. So when there was like exam, he started to text me, ask me if I had some notes, or just tell me, hey, how did your exam went? I was strong enough to just answer directly to the message and not keep the conversation going, which is something that usually I was doing. And so now I don't talk with him. I feel good, and I don't even regret the time that I spent with him, because it was, yes, one of the best time of my life, and I did enjoy the friendship that I had with him. But it got to a point where it was oppressive. I was oppressive. I was so jealous, like if it was my boyfriend, which it was not. And so yeah, what I'm trying to say here is that if you're in a toxic relationship, you just need to let it go. You just need to focus on yourself rather than on this relationship that you have with this other person. And if you realize that it's a toxic relationship, it's not worth to fight for. It's not worth to try all over again, because it's not gonna be to a point where it's all easy and it's all perfect. It's just gonna be this way all over again. You will make peace and you will fight and you will argue, you will come back together and then do it all over again. You need to find your own happiness, and your happiness is not supposed to be a person. And I think that realizing the fact that you're in a toxic relationship is the first step to go ahead and act and be whoever you want to be, basically. This was a pretty tough video to film. I feel like it was tougher than the other one, and the reason behind it is that I talk about something that is really personal. I talk about my relationship with this guy, and well, if you watch this for any reasons, which I know I should, it would be pretty awkward, but that's my story and I'm kind of relieved to have talked about it. So this is pretty much going to be the end for this video and also the end for this series. I don't think that I have any other serious struggle or topic to talk about right now, but maybe if I will have that in the future, I will keep this series going. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video or all the series if you watched also the first one. Be sure to give me a big thumbs up if you did, and of course if you're new, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you around. I'm posting actually twice a week, on Tuesday and on Friday, and let me know if you guys enjoy this type of video. I'm actually filming with the internal camera of my phone, and I just feel like by doing this I'm closer to you guys. And this is how I actually started doing YouTube, with the internal camera of my phone, so I'm kind of glad to be back to my roots. Yeah, well, if you have anything to say, just leave that in the comments. I will answer to all of you guys. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!